French Revolution, so romantic, isn't it, right? Even though that the American Revolution happened decades before and had to do with the negative rights of man, so it was focused on freedom, and it had nothing to do with positive rights. And if you wanted to believe in any sort of God, that was your God-given right. If you wanted to do anything, as long as it didn't hurt another human being, that was your God-given right. And there was only in times of extreme crisis could there be a draft. And yet they couldn't quarter troops in your soldiers in your house. But France, everybody tries to emulate France. None of the Marxists do. Why? Because France is a total freaking failure. Let's read a little bit about France. Again, I'm reading this for the first time as you, so I'll correct it if I find anything that's just incorrect. In December of 1792, 1775 is when the American Revolution began. The document wasn't signed until July 4th, 1776, although it was pretty much already done by July 2nd, 1776. So we got over 2 decades on them. But let me begin with the part of the Reign of Terror and De-Christianization of France. The Reign of Terror, promoted by the Committee of Public Safety, was meant to suppress counter-revolutionary tendencies. Remember that term, counter-revolutionary, because that's the communists love that word. And utilize all France's resources to support the wars abroad. Great use of materials there, guys. Control of the committee was dominated by Maximilien Robespierre, firm believer in the principles of revolution. Out of a desire to promote civic virtue and create a society of good and honest citizens, Robespierre did not hesitate to use brutal and unjust means to achieve his ends. As the Reign of Terror spread through the country, mob violence soon followed. Gangs of marauders who believed that they were acting upon the best interests of the committee destroyed farms, houses, churches. Mutinies broke out in the army and the navy. Many nobles and political monarchists were forced into exile during the Reign of Terror. No suspect was left unharmed, and many innocent were punished unjustly. The church in France was hit particularly hard by the Reign of Terror, considering any religion counter-revolutionary. The committee launched a program of de-Christianization in November 1793. Missionary representatives were sent out into the countryside to close down churches, hunt down priests, punish anyone accused of harboring clergy. The Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris was dedicated as a temple to the goddess of reason. Church buildings were vandalized, gospel books and crucifixes burned, statues and relics of saints destroyed, the church bells were sacrificed, sacred vessels melted down for arterial pieces, citizens that offered bounties for turning over priests who refused to take an oath of loyalty to the revolution, Furthermore, any priest found resisting the policies of the National Convention was ordered to be executed within 24 hours. Under the pretext of enforcing the committee's policies, the Catholics were killed publicly in a cruel and gruesome way. Mobs massacred entire monastic communities, and Christian women and children were murdered in an effort to stop the spread of Christianity in future generations. In place of Christianity, the Committee of Public Safety set up a state-sponsored deistic religion. The Mass was replaced with a civil ceremony celebrating the goddess Reason, and Paris Notre Dame Cathedral was renamed the Temple of Reason and Library. In the cathedral, wives and daughters of the revolutionaries took turns acting out the part of the goddess of reason on the altar, in addition to establishing a new pagan cults. The committee completely changed the calendar in an effort to suppress Christian worship. They limited the Lord's Day by instituting a 10-day week. They exchanged saint and feast days for yearly celebrations of reason, liberty, and republic. The reign of terror, all talk, practice, and promotion of religion was strictly and brutally repressed. The tomb of Guinevere, a patroness of Paris, was replaced with the pantheon of France's greatest revolutionary men. So instead of compassionate women who spent their life helping their fellow man and feeding the poor, yeah, fuck them. Let's put guys up there who were, mass murderers, images of them. I mean, I can't get through all this, but you guys know. And if you shouldn't, this is a good introduction. The French Revolution, the Spanish Republic, and the why the Cristeros fought. If you are a Christian, it is your duty to know why those things happen so that they are never repeated ever again in the future. Peace to you.